Greetings, fellow freethinkers. The event you're about to watch was hosted by the Centre for Inquiry Ontario, an educational and outreach organization dedicated to promoting and defending science, reason, and free inquiry in every area of human endeavor. My name is Justin Trottier, and as Executive Director of CFI Ontario, I would like to take a minute to tell you about us. Our centre, located in the heart of downtown Toronto, is the first Canadian branch of CFI and is our nation's first dedicated meeting and event space for humanists and freethinkers. Our mandate encompasses a robust public education presentation series throughout Ontario, campus outreach as we support a growing network of student freethought groups, community outreach and social services to provide humanistic alternatives to religiously monopolized services and activities, and a lending library and media center that, among other things, broadcasts videos like this across the planet. To learn more, please visit us at cfiontario.org. To get on our email list or to learn how you can support our movement or get a freethought group started at your campus, simply contact us today at info@cfiontario.org. Thank you for your time, and I hope you enjoy the video.
Has gathered you here tonight, Freethinkers Association of Ryerson Canada, tonight for a talk on God, the Failed Hypothesis. So I'd like to thank the people from the CFI, from the Freethinkers Associations of Ryerson and Canada, the Ryerson community, members of the public who may have seen our posters. Thank you all for coming. You have no idea how proud we are that those posters are up. I'd also like to thank any and all media who are here because, as everybody knows, in a democracy, without the media, these sorts of events go unheeded. And I suppose that the reason that a lot of you are here is that you understand how important it is to have a voice of dissent in a democracy. Otherwise, it's not called a democracy anymore. So that's what we're here to do. Before I introduce tonight's speaker, I would like to introduce CFI Ontario President and the driving, organizing principal, the man that does most of the work and keeps most of us on an even keel for these events. This is, by the way, our third event in 3 weeks. Last week we did Dr. David Kopsel, which was South Park and Blasphemy, and for those of you who missed that, and you missed quite a fun show. And the one before, of course, was Dr. Brian Alters and Dr. Dan Brooks on evolution and creationism. Is creationism ruining science education? That was also very, very enlightening, and I expect tonight to be no different. So let's bring up Justin Trottier, President of the CFI Ontario chapter, and he'll say a few words, and then I'll come back and introduce tonight's speaker.
Thanks again for all of you coming out to this event tonight. Just a few brief words. First of all, on behalf of the Centre for Inquiry and CFI Ontario, the new branch in Canada, I want to say hello and again thank you for joining us. I want to tell you a bit about CFI. CFI Ontario, which is located about 10 minutes from here, it's just south of U of T's downtown campus at 216 Beverly, open 1 to 9 every day of the year so far. You're invited to drop in during any of those times. I want to give you a brief rundown of what we do. We have 5 main mandates. The first is programming. We do, and John has gone through some of the events that we've had. Since the inaugural on March 10th, we've had about 7 events, and many of them on campuses. 2 more tomorrow and Saturday, in fact. We also do social services and community outreach. That's a major area. We're trying to prove that humanists and atheists and freethinkers can offer viable social alternatives to the mainstream religious services of the day. As one example, instead of Alcoholics Anonymous, we provide a program called Secular Organizations for Sobriety for people who are secularists, atheists, freethinkers, and want a more free-thinking approach to giving up on alcohol. As one example among many of the programs that we have. We also do, obviously, campus outreach, another area, political advocacy. Our big political advocacy campaign the last year and a bit, and one that we're getting a lot of traction on these days, is ending the discriminatory funding of the Catholic separate school system, which is currently the only, Ontario is the only province in Canada, the only jurisdiction in the Western world, as I like to say, in which this practice, which costs taxpayers about $500 million and has all of us in this room paying for the education of a minority religious minority group, the largest minority, I might say, in Ontario, is just appalling, and we have been censored twice by the United Nations for human rights violations, in fact, because of it. So I don't want to go into that too much. If you're interested in that, you can find out more about it. It's one of the big causes that we have. We believe free speech and the right to freedom of expression are paramount in our society, hence events like this, which are controversial in nature. Hence the next event, which is with Tom Flynn tomorrow and Saturday, called, I forget the name exactly, but it's about Easter and the origins of Easter and sort of some of the pagan roots that people kind of have forgotten about that holiday. Just lastly, if you do support what we do, we encourage you to become a friend of the Centre for a pretty reasonable fee, especially for students. You get into all these events for free. You get discount subscriptions on magazines, on conferences, on books, all sorts of pretty good incentives. And you support a pretty worthy cause, defending science, reason, and free inquiry. Books will be for sale, I'll just mention that quickly, for $30 following the event, and of course they'll be signed by Dr. Stenger. And finally, we will have a display outside, just on to the door.